Hi, guys. All right. So it may take me a lifetime to process everything that I've seen, but I have a lot of shortcuts to share with you all. Okay. All right. So I want to continue on. I want to remind you guys the order of operations. I want to remind you that everything is your shadow. I want you to remind you that your experience is on display. Okay? Your experience is on display everywhere. So a lot of times, what I need you guys to remember is that the way that this illusion works, okay, is you have an imaginary self-conception that fits in all that is all that is all. It fits perfectly inside like a puzzle piece. Okay? And so what's happening is if at any point in time you hated on a specific type of experience, all of the little characters that played that role now remain outside of you. And this continues to happen. So we're either reanimating our wound by not dealing with it. And so then people keep coming into your life and they keep triggering you, not on purpose, not because they want to fuck with you. Like, that's not what the purpose is. It's because they love you, that you serve as your own shadow, begging to be redeemed. Okay? And a lot of times we haven't realized that the experience that we hate on, okay, whether it's a childhood hardship, whether it's a parent, whatever the wound may be, that is what is preventing us from being at peace within our ideal state. Okay, this is crucial and this is key, because the way that the design works, you stand as the gatekeeper as to what is allowed in and out of your experience. Okay, but the truth is it's an illusion, because everything is you. So therefore, playing this role and redeeming is what you're doing to see yourself and understand yourself. Okay. And once everything is forgiven, you don't cast a shadow anymore. You don't, it's like people come in and out of your life and you simply know them in. And so as this happens, okay, now remember, what you judge, you give life to, and it looks separate and it starts walking around the little mind of its own and stuff like that. Okay. If you remember that, as soon as you have seen them in a better light, in the most ideal state, since it's your shadow, this shadow then integrates its life experience, its universal knowledge into your shadow. And now the light keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But you must be at peace with all of your experience, okay? And you must understand why you are there. So in other words, if you have a sick relative and the only thing you see is a sick relative, then you have not understood the purpose for why you are standing there. Okay? Meaning that sick relative is your shadow, and as soon as you redeem the experience and understand that they cannot be that way, that clearly this is something that you are seeing incorrectly, it's an illusion, it's not true, so you stand in your power, you stand still, and you just know that they are fine, that this is just a concept that you created in order to understand it so you can know yourself. You start changing the trajectory of everything in your life. Everything. I mean this sincerely. Everything, okay? But the reason this is so important is if you keep animating your past experience over and over and over and over and over and over again, then you are locking yourself out. And all the little characters can play whatever role you need to, but you're locking yourself out of your ideal. You have to make peace with everything you are. everything. Every single experience you ever had, you must accept it, you must love it, you must understand it was necessary in order for you to devise the or I guess I want to say enter the solution that you created for yourself in the first place in order to have the experience. It's almost as if as soon as you make peace with everything that you've been, every fear, everything that you've separated, anything like that, as soon as you make peace with that, you cease casting a shadow and you're only light among the world. Okay? And now no matter where you go, no matter what happens, you just keep walking towards your good because you know the way to go. You know the direction. You're at peace. No matter what's happening, you're going towards your ideal state. And it also means that if you've blocked your own good, you are the only obstacle. So it's like really exciting because no matter how insurmountable the goal is, the only control panel's up here. How are you choosing to animate the moment? And that's so, so important because I can't stress this enough. If you are standing in front of a shadow and you are not judging it correctly, then you lock yourself out of your ideal state. Because if you look at that and you say, yep, that's a sick person, you uphold the sick person. So you've preserved a lot, like Lot's wife state, you see? Now you're in this box, wanting to get the hell out, having no idea how to do it, wishing you could do something about their health or whatever the case may be, and you guess who missed the mark to discover his own power or her power. Do you see what I'm saying? You're upholding the shadow. It makes no sense to uphold a shadow if you're there to redeem it, since there's never not you. So this is about becoming the intelligence behind what you're seeing, understanding that how you think up here is what you're seeing below. You must become present up here so that you stop casting the past into the present moment. There's a plan. There's never any reason to bypass what you're seeing. If you bypass, you are rejecting your self-concept. It cannot be integrated back into yourself, and you hold your good away from you. This is not about bypassing. This is about full self-acceptance, full love, full on, okay, if I judge this way, I will go ahead and enter the yucky state. Or if I realize I become present and I realize that the recording has just gone in the opposite direction, I no longer want to live that way. I don't want to hold this animation this way. I don't want to think this way. I just can't. Like, it's painful to keep looking this way. Well, if you think about it, even when you're looking ahead, remember, you're looking backwards, not redeeming what you have created in your mind. You become the intelligence behind everything. You look at everything objectively, not judging what someone is telling you, even when it appears to be the opposite of what you want, because now you know what thought bullets to dodge. If someone is doing you the extreme favor of voicing your fears, write them down. You are staring at your shadow, animating your shadow, and fearing your own thoughts in the moment. Okay? Write them down, then write the opposite, and now you use an affirmation properly. Do you realize how ridiculous it is to sit there and tell yourself an affirmation over and over again when you've always been this? You're the only one you're trying to convince. You're the only one you're trying to convince. So the appropriate use of an affirmation, I mean, you can, but you're working against yourself, because here's what you're doing. You've convinced yourself you're not this. You say the affirmations over again so you can confirm you are this, just to come back to this, you. It makes no sense. You're working, it's counterproductive to say I am not this, to be this. Just accept you are this. Boom. Change of trajectory. This is power, you guys. This is true, true power, because when you have no shadow, you are not afraid of anything. You've understood your experience on display. And so now every person acts like a gatekeeper that you just walk through the shadow. Okay. Now their experience gets added to heaven. Now their experience gets added to heaven. And it's not them because it's you, right? But it's the you that you haven't identified with. As soon as you redeem that shadow, now you open up the door and you enter your state. And this is instant. And this also means that if you are not having instant, you are judging yourself incorrectly, doing the wrong order of operations. And I want to remind you there is an order of operations. You must know the beginning and you must know the end. And you must know the difference between the two. Because if you do it backwards, you get the wrong answer. Okay? And by wrong, I don't mean wrong or right. I mean you get a partial conception in which you get to enjoy sort of, or not enjoy, sort of, wherever you experience. And so that's varying degrees of experience. However, there is, on the other side of that, the ideal that you came to experience. And you will know that by what you're feeling in your heart. And if you don't accept that as real, then you are your own obstacle. You are literally blocking the ideal state and then trying to convince yourself just to come back and turn around to the same location. Here. You animate everything here. If you're present, you will realize this immediately. And what you see below is you. You are the intelligence behind 3D. I need you guys to accept this. Because if you do, there is never a moment that you don't have what you want. If somebody needs to be healed, they're healed. If something, whatever someone needs, you know why? Because you have to accept you're the light. Whatever you think is impossible in 3D is possible in the light. So if you don't claim your light and declare light over your darkness, then you miss the mark. Even if it's okay state, even if it's okay, like it's something you appreciate, you still miss the mark if you judge anything as separate. Because you're like this huge puzzle piece that once you stop looking at it incorrectly, you're through the door. And now all universal experience bends to you. You recognize your image and then you enter heaven. And everybody has their own heaven. Everyone has their version of heaven. And what the cool thing is everything you desire, that joy and that happiness and everything that you've always wanted has always been yours. But if you stand in the way of that by saying, I don't have this and I need to create it, now you're making your life harder. You are literally, when you say, I'm going to make this tool, I'm going to use this tool, I'm going to try and convince myself of this, I'm trying to do this, what you are doing literally, okay, is standing in the middle of in front of what you always wanted, okay, in front of it. Then you say you don't have it and you try and convince yourself you do, okay? And now you're going to swim upriver to go all the way around universal experience until you can come back to the same point of origin where you already have it, okay? Now, how long this takes you? 2 weeks, 2 years, 3 years, 5 weeks, 5 years, 1 second? Up to you. Up to you. Because I'm not teaching, I need you guys to understand, I'm not teaching anything other than instant. I need you to got instant. If you don't have instant, you're missing the mark. If you don't have instant, you're missing the mark. If you don't have instant, you're missing the mark. You have to understand why you're there to get through the 3D box. This whole little game was designed for you to love yourself and discover the whole time that you've been the answer. So the love that you're seeking, always been there. The riches, the home, the car, everything. You are the only obstacle, because if you want it, you're standing in front of it and all you got to do is turn around and accept that's what is. But you do it without fear. Even in relationships, you cannot judge this man or woman as separate or you just fucked up. I swear to God, you just fucked up. Because you just took them out of your ideal state where you came to experience the very best of everything, and now they have a little mind of their own, and they're going to do you an extreme favor and show you what fears you have and where you're fucking up. And now the suffering also occurs because you join in on their version of hell. Your fear, which is not really them, because again, this language, but it's your shadow. Do you wish to enter the shadow, or do you wish to enter your ideal? Because that power has always been yours. You are the only gatekeeper. There is no outside power. There is nothing. In order to discover the design and to see how exactly you fit perfectly in eternity and how perfect you are in every moment and how you've never been separate from anything, that is what you're here to discover. It's the only reason you were born. But if you don't recognize your universal conception, you don't have universal dominion. And without universal dominion, it's okay. It's just a smaller role. How big of a role do you want to play? Because whatever you've dreamed of, that's what is. And that's what we stand in front of. Now, are we going to look away from ourselves into the darkness and misuse our shadow? Or are we going to realize that the light of our understanding is the whole purpose of our existence, and therefore we redeem what we're seeing outside? We stop calling it bad. We stop judging it bad. We stop. Do you realize that this is the power that you have? My state in the Southern Bible Belt, okay? I am at peace no matter what is happening. Guess whose state is the most liberal? No masks forced on us. No businesses. It's just cool. Everyone's cool. We just respect each other. We just love each other. This is the state I'm living in. I don't even have riots around me. I'm that kind of peace. And if all of you do this, all of you discover this. And every single problem disappears in an instant. And I know this is a big ass diamond that I'm asking you to accept as real. But that's what is. There are only two states, illusion or real. And you get to be right in the illusion for as long as you want, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what. But understand that you can end the illusion. You can create something totally different. You can stand in that truth and you can see that. And then you enter that experience. So you're either walking towards the solution or away from it. But either way, you're the answer. You're the answer, and you always have been. But it requires full self-acceptance. There can't be any part of your experience that you deem unworthy. It served you. It served you. And so if you don't have peace over this, then that is the wound you project onto your world. And guess what? Everyone will either show you that and you fix it so that you can get to the other side of your ideal, or you uphold it and you lock yourself out of your ideal. This is about real non-judgment. This is about, oh my God, I see how this is my experience. I see how I fit into the universal plan. I see now. I can't play small anymore. I get it. I see my role. And so what happens once you get this, and this is why it's going to take me a lifetime to process this whole thing. What happens when you don't see anyone as separate? Now all of their experiences become your experiences. You see how you fit into the universal design, and anyone that comes to you, you can help because it's your experience on display. And here's the best part. I am in a position where I can see the best of everything. I can see inside people's vortex. I don't see their shadow anymore. I understand. So I'm upholding the light, saying whatever this is right here, here's where you're standing in the way, and here's what actually is. And because I stand on the light now, I can actually speak life into your world. I can reassure people because I can see the other side of your shadow where everything is possible, because everything in the light is possible. You have to discover this on your own or you remain in the dark. Which is fine. You still serve the collective. But what I'm trying to get you to do is walk across the bridge of yourself into your ideal state so that no matter what you do, even without trying, you are fully at peace. You walk with such joy and such happiness, and you're unconsciously, you're not even trying anymore. You're just peace walking. Just peace walking. Just peace walking. You know, people start wondering what kind of happy juice you're on. And you just kind of touch them and say, it's okay. Let me put you on my happy juice. It's okay. And then they see it. And you get to experience that, but then their experience and your experience become one thing. And the more you add, 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 the better your life becomes, because you have such clarity. You're no longer looking at the dark. You have no shadow. Zero shadow, no more wound. There's nothing to fix. And therefore, what you see and why you're there is clear. If you want to participate in a riot, you can, but you do so knowing that you are the intelligence behind. You know that it's going to unfold perfectly, and you get to enjoy the riot, but not from the perspective of fear, but from the perspective of witnessing it as you see the revolution turning into love. It doesn't have to be an illusion that you hate. You do have to love everything, though, because if you don't, you miss the mark. You don't get your desires. It's not a good feeling when you don't get your desires. You wouldn't be looking for manifestation coaches if you had your desires, right? And if I'm telling you the only reason you don't have your desires is because you're standing in your own way, and you don't need a coach, and you don't need tips and tricks and here and there. Can you do them? Sure. They all work. It doesn't matter. All of the paths lead back to you, but the only thing you're trying to do is to accept that you are already what you are. Right? And so I want you to understand how ridiculous it is to try and manifest stuff if you have to first convince yourself you're not that, and then try and get it. Now, that is why we do the experience, and that's cool. But it's also a lot of work to try and convince somebody when all you have to do is accept. I am everything. I love everything. I have no filter anymore. I don't care what's happening. I accept it. I'm good. I love it. Because I know wherever I go, I am the intelligence behind. You are the light behind the material veil. And so the material veil, as you walk, starts to reshape itself and form itself into your ideal state right in front of your freaking face. I'm trying so hard to describe this because it's so beautiful when you no longer suffer. It's so beautiful to know that you can walk in a room and everyone is healed instantly, even if they don't know it yet. That's real power. You want to walk on this earth like a fucking boss. Because you are. You no longer feel helpless. You no longer animate establishments outside of you. You no longer animate poverty. You no longer animate all of your belief systems. Why? They already exist outside of you as not perfect. That's why you're there to redeem it. So literally, then it becomes the idea that if you see something that's not good, in that moment, you're animating the devil. You're animating what's not good so you can go examine it and figure out how you want to fix it. But if you get lost in the whole this is not a good thing, then you stay there like Lot's wife. So if there's a sick relative and you see a sick relative, then the sick relative remains sick because you haven't realized that you're the one that has to stop seeing the sick relative as sick, since couldn't possibly be true. In other words, the partnership you are entering is now, if you see something bad, you must rescue God from you. Because God died and became those ugly little characters for you to know your power. It's It's real easy to think only the light and the beautiful roses here on the other side. Yeah, that's good. But don't bypass the bad. Redeem it in your mind first so you can enter that state. Become present. Stop projecting the past into the now moment, because you are responsible for the now moment. This ends the suffering. It ends the suffering. Suddenly you have now universal dominion. Now literally it's like the 3D cloak you wear has become your whole skin. The trees, the body, the pavement, the sky, the sunshine, the weather, everything is under your control. That's real juice. And this is true of everyone. You all get your own universal dominion. I wish I could tell you, oh, Cindy's special or something like that. That's such bullshit. My little shadow is no more special than anyone else's shadow. I really only use this body to tell you what's on the other side of heaven. I only use this body as a megaphone to say, hey, you know what? You're standing in front of your obstacle, being the obstacle, pretending to be the obstacle to overcome it. And if you just drop the obstacle and start thinking differently and redeem what you're seeing, you will then enter your state. And it's that easy. Boom, 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 boom. You'll never need another method. You never need to try anything. You never need to, you never even worry about what has happened. And it's not a bypass. It's like, oh, okay, I see how this is me. I see why I'm on the receiving end of what I've thought. And now I fix it. Okay? And this means that when you have your love, you're also totally at peace with your love, because, you know, you're not going to be animating fear. So there is nothing in the field that's going to fuck with what you're trying to establish as love. But you can't be afraid of your own thoughts. That's the only time that your world kind of seems out of whack. Okay? You're afraid of your own thoughts. And you have to remember that from the minute you want something, you already exist over there. You moved in mind already. Okay? But you must stand in front of the contrast to decide how to remake the contrast to make something different. And that's where we've forgotten that we don't know we have that kind of juice. And you do. Okay? So now that you've understood that, now that the most important thing is accept it as that's what's true, because it always is. And the reason this is this way and you discover it is once you've fully accepted yourself and everything that has ever occurred to you, your whole life changes right before your eyes. It's as if God fills in all the light of things that you didn't think you knew. And all of a sudden, every life experience that you've ever had makes sense. It's no longer partial conception. It totally makes sense. And you release all judgment and fear over your past experience. You have no more pain. You have no more nothing. It's like God just fills in the light. Oh, that's why that happened. That's why that happened. Oh, and you have this life review and you just laugh like a child. And then you get busy with your vision, your new vision. You just stand still. It's true of everyone. It's true of everyone. It's so massively deep that I can't even begin to describe what this feels like. But I tell you what, you don't need anything. You don't want your love because you know you are love, so your love must come back to you so you don't fear it. And then poof, there, your love appears. Suddenly professing how much he misses you or how he can't live without you, or she misses you and she can't live without you. And you're like, I made it through my veil. I finally saw it was me I was rejecting. And you want to cry because you realize I did it. So you are the answer. You are both the obstacle and the solution. And as soon as you stop standing in the way, you cease being the obstacle and you enjoy being the solution, which was the whole reason why you descended into something that looks dark in the first place. But if you're afraid, You've forgotten that you're animating this from behind the scenes, the whole 3D, and making it real for you to enter it. So what happens then, you play a small role in the play, which is fine. The play's got to play out anyway. We all go with each other. We all serve each other. Everyone unconsciously behaves in your behalf in order for you to see yourself. That's how the design works. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it because the truth is, if it's not instant, you're doing it wrong. That's what I'm going to tell you. If it's not instant, you're doing it wrong. And it's not wrong like this is a moral call. It's wrong in the sense is you're making more work than you need to. You're swimming all the way around the whole river just to come back to the same point of origin. And that can take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 years, 10 years, 6 years, 8 years. I don't care how long it takes. Change is instant. Resistance to change takes lifetimes. So that's the swim. That's the swim. But if someone said, hey, look, there's a shortcut, you guys. You're looking at the universal experience backwards. You've totally looked at your life backwards the whole freaking time. And I'm trying to get you guys to stop being Lot's wife. Please stop preserving and salt the temporary moment that you've frozen for yourself. Unless you know how you made it, unless you know how you enjoy it, don't judge it. It's not done unfolding. Should you judge it, make sure you judge it for good. Because that's what you enter. Correct order of operations. But if you judge it, well, it's, oh, this is terrible. This is what I'm seeing. It's horrible. You stay in what's horrible. But for me, I'm not going to animate a power outside of me, tell the whole world I exist and that the cabal is after me. Tell the whole world to be controlled by a cabal that doesn't even exist outside of me because I'm animating the whole illusion in the first place and causing suffering for my entire universe with me because I'm the devil in that moment. I'm the devil in that moment. I can't do that anymore. I can't do that anymore. I can't animate the negative. And I got to get you guys to stop too, because if ever you suffer, it's because you're animating the wrong side. Both exist. You stand in the middle of both. Where are you looking? Are you judging your shadow incorrectly and then causing your own suffering and taking everybody down with you? Because we know how to do that. Thank God it's an illusion. Or have you understood the consequences of not being loving to your reflection and are done with that and are ready to get out of your own way and have what you've always wanted? You are it. I make no illusions to some other God outside. I can't. I done seen the design. Everyone matters. Everyone has this power. Everyone. Everyone. But I want to tell you something. If I ask you, who are you? And your answer is anything less than the universe, then you have not understood who you are in your entirety. Become the intelligence behind the universe to have your dominion. I promise you everything returns. The love you've always wanted, the career you've always wanted, whatever you've always wanted. You want it because it was given before you were even born. It was given before you were even born. Do you understand me? So if it was given before you were even born, then why do you not have it? Because you told yourself you don't. Did you not hear when they said you called the unseen seen? So I want you guys to sit with that. I want you guys to sit with that. I'm already on the other side. I don't even have a soul tie anymore. I don't even know how I'm here. Freaking understand that. Except for the fact that now I can appear in everybody's dreams and I just hang out with you guys. And if you call me, I'll just go into your dream and I'll go give you the solution that way. And I laugh and you guys laugh with me. Do you think that is possible of a soul that has not understood its inside and not outside? It's true of everyone. We all live in our ideal state. Okay? So sit with this for a little bit. Think about how you have been seeing the universe that you see outside. How have you not loved this experience? How have you not loved what is happening to you? And believe me, there are going to be some experiences that are very difficult. I'm not making them up. They've been things that have happened to me. You know, some of you have been raped, for example, right? Okay, I get it. Some of you have been molested. I get it. Some of you have had abusive, narcissistic people in your life. I get it. And even those people are God that need to be rescued from the concept of your experience because you came down to learn and understand it. It's imaginary. It can't hurt you. But you can, even in this imaginary state, become the solution, enjoy the solution, and remember why you were born in the first place. Because that's where I'm at now. I know why I was born. There's no turning me off. I'm so at peace. I'm so at peace that when I have a conversation with someone, they become peace. I stand as the opposite of what's possible, of what they think is possible, just so I can tell them what's possible in the light of themselves. That's why people are coming to me in droves, because they're like, oh my God, I get it, I see. And all I have to do is stand still and allow God to speak through me and show you who you are and show you how beautiful everything that you are, that you're standing in the way that it does not exist. And if you need help seeing, I'm already in the light. I'm already in the light. Where two or more are gathered in my name. Y'all hear me? Where two or more are gathered in my name, we shall overcome. So if I need to pretend to be a body and gather in front of you, then let's do it. Let's do it. People come to me because they say I read their Akashic record. Yeah, I guess you do. I didn't understand why or how until just now. You read the Akashic record easily because you're standing in the middle of eternal experience in perfect peace. So with the clarity of your third eye, you see absolutely everything that occurs in their lives, exactly where they are in eternity and how to help them, because you see everything at once. Everything. And you're at such perfect peace that you have no need to judge any moment because you see everything at once. So you're not freezing a moment and calling it bad or good. It's all good. And with that kind of peace and that kind of clarity, you have some serious mojo. But you got to stand in the light in order to speak life. You got to declare light. This is a call to action. There's nothing outside of you. You want to transcend duality? You want to get in the light. Because as soon as you do, you don't even have to try. You don't even have to try. You just show up. And then everybody plays the role for you, and you go enjoy your experience, and you're like, yes! This is what I'm trying to offer everyone. because it's everyone's ability. Can I see your Akash? Yeah. It's our universal experience. We volunteered to come into the darkest things of universal experience. And yeah, we did it, and we had to experience it in order to understand forgiveness in its ultimate form, because we created this darkness in the first place. In judgment. It's the only way to pass the game. Like at this point, you guys, I totally see the whole entire universal game. I have realized I'm its architect, and I've understood how it works, and there are no more mysteries. If I want to see 600 years in the future, I can. And this is true of everyone. It's true of everyone. There's nothing more powerful than being this peaceful. Because you walk into an earthquake and the earth stops quaking. Like, I'm serious. It's as if you understood suddenly, and through the veil you go. But the veil is a material world. It's a material world made out of your experience that you've rejected. Listen to me clearly. The veil, the 3D material veil, is the experience that you have rejected and not recognized as yourself. So you excommunicated the aspect of God that is you, that is always whole, and that is what you came to redeem. And it's universal. You want universal mojo? Accept your place in eternity. If you need help seeing and you need clarity, call me, no problem. I'm not afraid of any experience anymore. I'm already in the light where anything's possible. And I'm trying to get you guys to walk across, because that's exactly what life is. It's good. It's really good. When you have no more duality, when you understand everything, you know exactly why everything is happening in every moment. I mean, you know exactly why everything is happening in every moment. Do you understand how big and huge that is? You are never, ever confused by a situation again. That's mojo. True of everyone. True of everyone. I need to speak life into my shadow right now and help you guys understand this is true of everyone. I am not special in any way. I'm not even real. I'm an imaginary projection of light that I use in order to convey what's true of everyone. At this point, I no longer exist as separate from anything in my mind, which is what was always true, but I had to figure that out. And everyone has this. As soon as you figure it out, you're done. You have no more effort. You have no more things to try. You just enjoy every experience like a child. You walk in trusting. You have no more enemies. You have no more. People can talk, but you laugh because you recognize it's your past experience. And you just see them as better and you let it go. They will enter it when they're ready. It doesn't matter. You're not even trying anymore. But if you're exerting effort, it's only because you don't know who you are. That's my message today, guys. If you're still trying, if you're still struggling, if you don't know how to fix something, you have not allowed your universal experience to work through you. You're blocking your own good. And this is unnecessary. I don't need efforts anymore. I don't need tips and tricks. Can I do tips and tricks? Can I sit in front of a mirror and quantum jump? Can I make a little cop and quantum jump? Can I do this? Yes, it all works now. Can I write something and it happens instantly? Yes, it doesn't matter. It always works. It all works. There's never not a time that it's not working. This is what I want everybody to become. And so that means that that's what everybody is. And I don't want that anymore. I just know that's what is. So now I just, megaphone, I'm on the other side. This is the good part. This is what happens. Okay? All right, so I know I've talked for a long time, but I'm just really desperately trying to get everyone to understand their power in its full entirety as the universe, because as soon as you do that, you have no obstacles. None. I don't care what you see. It's all working in your favor. Remember, the vortex is pulling you in. And the universal mirror makes it look as if you're walking away. You're actually walking towards. And when you walk towards, you're walking away. Therein lies the solution in not being your own obstacle. This is really powerful, you guys. I cannot stress this enough. You want your miracle-making instant device? This is where it's found. Okay? And I still need to process everything that I'm seeing, so I'm very quiet right now, and I'm very in awe of the design and how beautiful it is and your place in eternity. But there's this moment, and I'm going to leave you with this, and then I'll let you guys process what I said. There's this moment in which you see your self-conception fit back into the light that it's always been. You cast no more shadow. You're fully at peace and ecstasy. And I mean, you might as well be on drugs, but you don't need them. Yeah. You don't. It's like you can have a glass of wine, but you don't need it. You're not trying to numb anything. You're so good. And then that vibe, this right here, total peace, heart and mind, fully activated in that power, then changes. And then it looks like you didn't move, but you did. You entered the ideal state from which now everything you act and do becomes the solution that you've always wanted. You're no longer the obstacle. I'm going to say that 5 times. You are the answer. I'm not special. Find your place in eternity. You don't lose yourself. It sounds like you do. It sounds like I'm going to lose my identity. No, it's more like you become an enhanced version of you, where it's like you're the Christ. It's like, oh my God, I'm the Christ. I'm walking the earth as the Christ, or I'm the Buddha, or I'm the Tara, or I'm... You suddenly see your true identity. And you couldn't love it anymore if you tried. I'm trying so hard to get this to you guys because there's something about finally being able to breathe and be at ease and understand what it means, truly means, when you say, peace, be still. It's true. The more powerful you become, the more gentler you are. It's like constantly having the best orgasm, but it never goes away. It's so satisfying to never feel incomplete, never feel scared, never worry about a thing. Because finally everything you ever wanted just appeared in front of your face. That's it. That's it, you guys. I hope that this is helping. I'm really trying. I want everyone to know what this is like because it ends vaccines, it ends wars, it ends poverty. It turns on your money. Your money starts flying out of like everywhere from every corner. And then you just start, you don't even want it. You just start pouring it back. And it starts circulating. Your career, you never question it. There are no toxic events anymore. because you consciously choose to respond with compassion to what you once thought was real. Love is the password. But until you realize you are divine love, you experience degrees of it. Totally cool. We have all of eternity. It's just that once you see that you are eternity, it's a very different... I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. I want your smile. I want your spirit. I want to see this. I want you guys to see how perfect you are. You're so perfect. You've always been perfect. So that's it. That's it. I'm sorry I didn't mean to be so long. You are the answer, though. I love you.